Hi there, Teresa Lisum here. Welcome to another episode of One Emotion at a Time, where we go through a process where we are able to release an emotion and then bring in and anchor in something new and more positive and more life affirming. So we do use essential oils during this process. Today we're going to use the blend called Motivate. It's a doTERRA blend. And it is called Motivate. If you don't have it, that's okay. Just grab another oil. Like today, it could be, let me double check here, peppermint. If you have peppermint, it could be coriander. It could be basil. It could be melissa. It could be rosemary. It could be laurel leaf. So it could be any of those oils. If you don't have any of those, that's okay. You just grab whatever essential oil you happen to have in the house, and it will be a good substitute. If you have none whatsoever, you're just going to use your imagination. You're just going to call in the energy and the frequency of the blend called Motivate. And it's still going to be a powerful process for you. And if you feel moved to get some more Motivate in the future, all the better. But if not, it will still work. It may just not be as quick. So my name's Teresa Lisum, and I am not a mental health professional nor a fixer. I am merely a guide on your journey to claiming your wholeness and your emotional freedom. I'm holding space for you with loving kindness and compassion as you move through this process. Whatever comes up here is just between me and you. You're here to release unwanted emotions so that you can find the answers and the solutions that are within you. And it is truly an honor to work with you today. Did you know that smell is the fastest way to impact the limbic system, the limbic center of your brain, where our emotions and our memories are stored? They have a direct route through the nose up to that part of the brain, where a chemical reaction starts within 60 to 90 seconds that has a cascading effect throughout your entire body. And what we're actually doing with the essential oils is the molecules are interrupting old emotional response patterns. Then we're prompting the creation of new neural pathways to help retrain the brain to respond in healthier ways. How cool is that? So we're going to be working on the emotion of discouraged, discouragement. You might want to use the word weary, stagnant, gloomy, lacking motivation, and unable to move forward and press on. So you can substitute any of those emotions for the word discouraged, but I will probably use that word most frequently in this session. So I'm going to read you a little bit about the essential oil blend called Motivate. And I'm going to encourage you to write down anything that resonates with you, anything that pops out. Jot it down for your own reference. If you need to go grab something to write with, please do. Make sure you have your essential oil handy, whatever that may be, or make sure you have your imagination handy. And we are going to use your imagination throughout this whole process. So you're going to need that no matter what. So let's dig into Motivate. This blend of mints and citrus oils was formulated for those who need motivation and encouragement. Thus the name. It assists us who might feel stagnant and need to be fired up into action again. Motivate fosters confidence to follow through on one's creative inspirations and intentions. Just like a little kick in the pants. It gives a warrior-like spirit and strengthens individuals to face adversities and challenges. This blend is especially helpful in times of weariness and discouragement when we have lost our energy and motivation to complete important tasks. And you can put any tasks in there that are wearing you down and causing that discouragement. Because it's easy to become lethargic or discouraged when we are being emotionally and or physically taxed on a regular basis. So Motivate can act as a support in rediscovering and maintaining our desire to serve. It encourages us to work through our feelings of gloom, weariness, hopelessness, rather than slipping into despondency and despair. Instead of remaining paralyzed by these feelings, this blend launches individuals into positive action. It confidently reassures us that we do have the courage needed to face another day. Ooh, it just gives me some hope for sure. So I'm going to ask you some questions that you can jot down the answers to. You can come back and journal on them. You can hold the thought in your head, and these are to help you dig a little bit deeper into your own self and become more aware of what's going on within you. Why did life events not go my way? Why did life events not go my way? Is it possible that this new way opens to better things than I had planned? Could it be possible that this new way opens me up to better things than I had planned? Why did life events not go my way? And is it possible that this new way opens up to better things that I had not planned, or than I had already planned? So let's go ahead and start this process. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and notice where this emotion, this feeling of discouragement resides in your body. Like, where is it located? Just notice. And if you don't notice where it's at all, no worries. That's okay. You can use your imagination if you'd like to. What are you noticing about that emotion of being discouraged or feeling discouraged? Does it have a weight to it? Is it heavy? Is it light? Is it somewhere in between? Does it have a solidness to it? Or is it wispy, hazy, transparent? No, no opacity to it at all. Is that a word? Does it have a color? Does it have a texture? Does it have a sound? I don't know. Just notice what you're noticing. And then see yourself expending the energy it's taking you to maintain and hold on to that emotion. It does take us energy to hold on to our emotions, and we're holding on to so many of them that have built up over time. And so our energy is being expended to hold on to all these emotions. Are you ready to let this one go? Yay! So repeat in your head, either out loud or just in your head. You can close your eyes if you want. I choose to release this discouragement, this feeling of being discouraged. I choose to release it with all of its attachments and hold on me. And I now hand it over to the divine for transformation and healing. So I choose to release this feeling of discouragement with all of its negative attachments and hold on me. I now hand it over to the divine for transformation and healing. And then see yourself releasing this feeling of discouragement. Visualize it floating out of you, higher and higher and higher, taking all of its attachments with it. Maybe it's floating away as balloons do, or maybe it's floating away as bubbles do. Maybe it's floating away as some smoke or some steam. But feel yourself becoming lighter and more free as it leaves your mind, your body, and your spirit. And then see it completely taken away and dissolved by the divine. And then I want you to grab your oil or just your imagination and take 3 deep cleansing breaths of that motivation, that motivate blend. Big inhales, hold at the top of the inhale, and then exhale from the belly. And then 2 more deep inhales, breathing in that motivate and letting it go. And if you want to take more than 3, that's okay too. We're using that motivate to release that emotion of feeling discouraged. I'm going to ask you to notice how you're feeling. If you want to make note of it on your paper, feel free. If not, that's okay too. Are you ready for a new experience now? Yay! I'm going to give you some affirmations and another visualization. Keep your oil blend handy. You're going to be breathing it in again. Now we're going to be using that oil to anchor in a new way of thinking and a new way of being. I now choose to believe and receive abundance. I now choose to believe and receive abundance. And if you want to extend that to a little bit longer affirmation, you're more than welcome to. Maybe add a specific type of abundance. I now choose to believe and receive abundance. I'm going to invite you, if your eyes are not already closed, to close them at this point. Have your oil ready. And I invite you to see a bright beam of light aimed right at your heart. So breathe in that motivate and imagine and visualize a bright beam of light aimed right at your heart, bringing new energy and flow to your body, your mind, and your spirit. So this bright beam of light aimed right at your heart, bringing in new energy and new flow to your body, your mind, and your spirit. What a beautiful visualization. Breathe in that motivate or that oil that is substituting, or breathe in the imaginary motivate and let that aroma move with that light beam right to your heart. Inhaling this motivate, inhaling this oil is bringing in, anchoring a new way of thinking and a new way of being. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Now, the process is pretty much done. We need to plan for some follow-up, some things to do to continue the healing process. Can you offer yourself compassion, self-forgiveness, and understanding for what you just learned through this experience? I'm asking you to offer yourself compassion, self-forgiveness, and understanding for what you just learned through this process. I'm going to ask you to take good care of yourself over the next 24 to 48 hours with some self-care and some self-nurturing, because this healing is going to continue. I don't know for how long, but it continues from this point forward into a period of time into the future. So I'm going to definitely ask you to hydrate a little bit more than normal between now and maybe a day from now. Do some movement. I want you to really move your body in some way very soon, either stretching, dancing, jumping around, walking out in nature if possible. Just do some movement to integrate all of the energy that we moved. Hydration, we already talked about. You might need to rest. You might need to do some extra rest tonight before bedtime or at bedtime. You might need to go to bed earlier. You might need to take a nap. Use this as an excuse to take a nap. But I really encourage you to do some self-care very soon. You can take a bath tonight. If you happen to have Motivate, you can drop a drop of oil in some Epsom salts and sprinkle it in your bath water, if you so choose to do that. You can meditate. You can pray. Now, your transformation and breakthrough process, as I already mentioned, will continue. You may get some added insights, some emotions might come up, some different emotions that are going to come up to the surface in the days, hours ahead. That's perfectly normal and to be expected. If you don't, that's fine too. That doesn't mean it did not work. Every person is different. So what are your next steps? Your first next step is that self-care, that self-nurturing activity or series of activities. But I'm going to encourage you to choose something beyond that for the next 24 to 48 hours. And you decide. I'm just going to give you a few suggestions. You might need to reach out for some support from somebody. You might need to or want to establish some boundaries, some new boundaries, or reestablish some boundaries. You might need to forgive someone. You might need to write a letter to somebody that you may not send. That's okay too. You may need to really pray, really process. You might need to journal out your feelings, do some wild free writing and just see what comes up. And what will get in the way, because things will get in the way. So set up a plan now to keep something from interfering and distracting you from what you said you would do here. So if you're going to get distracted from your family, if you're going to forget as soon as you step away from this, or, whatever, then pre-plan, be proactive, jot down right now what you're going to do when your kids come in and distract you. You're going to ask them to give you some quiet time. Are you going to retire to your room and take some extra private time together, private time with you and your thoughts? What can you do to keep you from following through on your action step? And I want you to think about what is the most powerful learning piece that you are coming away from with this process. What's your biggest takeaway? And then I invite you to put your hand or both your hands on your heart and silently thank yourself for showing up for this process and doing this work. Not everybody wants to do this. So thank yourself, appreciate yourself, be proud of yourself for going through this process with me. And know that healing is a journey. And you can come back to this video and this process as often as you need. You can smell your essential oil, listen to the affirmations, do the visualization, and that's going to bring you back to this moment and help you move through, maybe on some deeper levels. Know that you are divinely supported and you can trust the power within you to transform and heal. And I thank you so much for sharing this space with me, this time with me, and thank you for being honest with yourself. It is truly an honor and a privilege to move through this process with you and be a witness to it. So thank you so much. I so appreciate you. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Go check out my other One Emotion at a Time episodes on different emotions. Feel free to find me on Facebook, LinkedIn. Reach out to me. Let me know how this was for you. I'd love to hear your comments. You're welcome to message me through Facebook and just share with me how I helped you on your journey. Thank you so much. I look forward to the next time we get to interact. Bye-bye, my friend.